Councilmember Rounds,
Here.
Councilmember Burke, Councilmember Dowdy,
Here.
Councilmember Hall,
Here.
Councilmember Frymark,
Here.
Councilmember Houston,
Here.
Councilmember Friend,
Here.
Mayor Deinhardt.
Here. All right, with that, we're going to go into a special presentation and some employee recognition. I'm going to call Chief Gibbs up. I know that you dress up like this for every city council meeting, so we appreciate that.
Do you want me to use this one, or does that,
Absolutely.
does that work? Okay. I'll go ahead and get Officer Hanning and Officer Olson both up here so they can be embarrassed together. So both the awards for these guys are long overdue. This is probably the coolest thing that I get to do in my job, is recognize my employees for positive things, especially when there's a lot of negativity about law enforcement that's out there today. So I think it's very important to recognize our officers when they do something that's exceptional and goes beyond the normal scope of their duties. So the first one, Officer Hanning tonight is being presented with the Medal of Valor. Like I said, it was long overdue. The incident in question, or that he's being awarded for, happened in September 9th of 2023. So well over a year ago. In January, the beginning of 24, I received an email from now Captain Berglund of Kelso PD. He was a detective sergeant. It was a letter that Officer Hanning got a copy of as well that outlined his actions. So there was a homicide in Kelso. The subject fled, and Officer Hanning, paying attention to the radio, happened to be in the right place at the right time. He initiated a pursuit by himself. He had no cover, but he recognized the vehicle and the description of the driver. He was clear and concise over the radio. I got many positive remarks from our dispatchers as to how calm he was and how clear he was on the radio. Officer Hanning pursued the vehicle all the way down to the intersection near Costco. The vehicle eventually caused a collision, stacked up a lot of cars. Still on his own as he awaited for other cover officers and the Clark County SWAT team. Fortunately, the driver of that vehicle was pinned in the driver's seat. Otherwise, it appeared that there was a firearm on the passenger side that he was reaching for, and it could have been very much worse. Sergeant Captain Berglund now commented as to Officer Hanning's quick actions that day probably helped not only save other lives, but preserved evidence that may have otherwise been lost with the firearm and everything else, had that person had more time to escape. So again, he's getting the Medal of Valor. The Chief of the Woodland Police Department takes great pleasure in awarding the Department Medal of Valor to Officer Raymond Hanning for services as set forth on the following. On September 9th, 2023, you distinguished yourself through your exemplary service, apprehending violent criminals, selfishly protecting citizens from imminent harm while assisting the Kelso Police Department. This award is a testament to your courageous service to law enforcement and the City of Woodland. Your dedication and professionalism reveal the depth of your commitment to law enforcement and your community, and keeping in the finest traditions of the Woodland Police Department. The other thing is, both of these gentlemen will get an actual medal that they'll wear on their uniforms. Unfortunately, it's still having trouble ordering things, so it's on order. We just don't have them, but I thought it was important to recognize them immediately. So I will give Officer Hanning his award first. Can we do the whole handshake thing? Oh, you want another reenactment? Don't go anywhere. You're going to sit here and stand here and support Alex.
We'll do pictures after this.
So Officer Olson's incident's a little bit different. You know, we respond to all different types of calls, whether it's CPR in progress, and some may remember that there was a drowning at the Horseshoe Lake just after midnight on August 8th. I received a phone call from a deputy who was assisting. Roughly, I think it was 12:30ish or so. I'd probably been asleep for a couple hours. The phone call was to tell me that I had an officer in the water. Immediately called the former Chief Kelly and said, hey, I'm on my way to Woodland. We have somebody in the water. I don't know any other details. When I arrived on scene, Officer Olson was then out of the water, but completely soaked. You know, the outcomes of the incidences always aren't in our favor, and it was a very unfortunate night. But when Officer Olson arrived on scene, he did not hesitate to drop whatever gear he could and to go into the water. He grabbed several life jackets that are down there in an attempt to save this individual. A little bit more backstory on that. The park was closed, it was dark, it was after hours. Officer Olson was actually making a police contact. He got the person's attention and they fled for some unknown reason. They took off. As Officer Olson went into the park to locate the subject, he heard screaming from the water that someone couldn't swim. We don't know if this person is trying to lure him out or what the details are. He fled for a reason, but without hesitation, Officer Olson did everything he could to locate that subject. And as a result of that, he is getting a meritorious service medal. And I'll read that as well. The Chief of the Woodland Police Department takes great pleasure in awarding the meritorious Medal of Meritorious Service to Officer Alex Olson for services set forth in the following. On August 8th, 2024, you distinguish yourself through exemplary service and professional conduct. This award is a testament to your service to the citizens of the City of Woodland. Your dedication and professionalism reveal the depth of your commitment to law enforcement and your community in keeping with the finest traditions of the Woodland Police Department. So again, Officer Olson, the Meritorious Service Medal. I think Mayor Deinhardt has got something as well he'd like to add.
First of all, I just want to say thank you both. I've gotten to know you over the last 12 months. Just a little something on behalf of the city and myself. No, thank you for protecting us and keeping our city safe. Seriously, I mean, I think you all know how important it is. So with that, I would like to do some pictures. I mean, again, Chief, we'll do first, this side here. Annie, you're out over here, and then we'll move over to this side. So, Blythe, get your family up here, buddy.
Aren't those supposed to be donuts?
Yes, I would like you in the picture. Get the family. Yes, exactly.
Mayor, aren't those supposed to be donuts?
No. Okay.
Good. You just want you guys by yourself.
Yeah, now let's get one with you, just your family. Come on. Awesome. Thank you, Alex. This is awesome. Really appreciate it. Okay, get up here, sir.
Yeah. We got lots of pictures.
Wasn't that the second one for Olson?
Where's your family? I know they're here. Or did you want just the two of you?
He just wanted us. Yeah, yeah.
That's the picture we need, Travis.
All right, you gotta look at the camera though.
I'm looking at the camera.
Closer?
Great picture.
All right, let's step it up.
Okay, I'll slide this way so mom and dad are in the picture. Come on. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you very much.
Real quick, I do want to point out, we do have several officers in attendance tonight. One of them not in uniform on his day off, another officer is on his day off as well, and of course the team is working, so it just shows the commitment that they have to each other as well. So we take great pride in that. Thank you.
Chief took the words. I was going to point out that we have other officers here and sergeants. Those in attendance, thank you very much for coming. Have a Merry Christmas, everyone, all right, while you're clearing the room. Thank you very much. I'm just going to let... Bye, kids. Yeah. All right. With that, we'll move into citizen communications for items not on the agenda. The first one is Ms. Butler. And she wants to talk about the mayor. Is her topic.
So this is the last council meeting for the year, so I would like to deliver a message to our mayor. Mr. Mayor, earlier today I was reflecting on this past year that you have been in office, serving the residents of Woodland in the executive branch of our city government. When you took office in January, you were pretty much handed a sow's ear and adeptly turned it into a silk purse. I don't know who else could have done what you did. You stepped into office with no public works director, no city administrator, and an understaffed police department, disgruntled city employees, and unhappy citizens. It's commendable how you have resolved many of these issues in just 1 year. I would like to thank you for being so available to concerned citizens. We know there are moments when you are counting down the days to the end of your term. All your city employees know. But we are not. We already have a re-election campaign in the works. So carry on, Mr. Mayor, and may God bless you in your noble endeavors.
Thank you, Donna. I appreciate that. Again, if somebody wants to chime in, you don't have to talk about me. Seriously, I mean, that's not, but I would just like to say, I mean, I do appreciate the relationships, the friendships, the people I've met here in the community over the last 12 months. So thank you very much. Those were kind words. So thank you. I'm kind of speechless on that.
You're speechless.
Yeah. Mr. Bilal, Keith, come on up. Planners Day.
Keith Blau, representing Planners Days. Planners Days this year, June 19th through the 22nd, 2025. Our monthly meeting is tomorrow, 6 p.m. at the VFW. The theme for the upcoming event is Legacies and Generations. So with that theme, I'm hoping we get some really interesting entrants and some people that learn a little bit about local history. Some of the families here and some of things that could be labeled legacies from past generations that have made things happen here in Woodland. The art contest is ongoing and it's over on February 1st. The link to sign up for the market for Rotary is available and up, and the applications are still available for Royal Court participants at the high school, and I believe the deadline is the winter break. We're still seeking sponsors, prizes, and donations, and if you want to get involved, come and see me. We'll find some things to do, get you a job. Any questions?
Nope, I don't have any. I appreciate you coming.
Sure.
I appreciate all your work that you do for Planners Day and all of those. A lot of effort goes into that, so thank you, sir.
It's a good time. Thanks.
All right. With that, any other? Come on up. We'll just start in the front here. Sheesh.
My name's Maggie Smith, and I would like to really just second everything that Donna, Mrs. Butler, said. Yeah, you're not getting out of Woodland on 4 years. No way. You've done so much. You know that we come to the council meetings all the time when, if we're in town and stuff like that. And we also came to a lot of the previous administration council meetings too, and didn't go so well. So anyway, thank you so much, and like I said, appreciate you.
Well, thank you, Miss Smith. Come on up, Miss Riley.
Well, I just wanted to take a moment and thank the community from our police department, specifically Donnie, who helped organize our Shop with a Cop. So many Woodland kids are going to have a Merry Christmas because of the partnerships throughout our community, from Kings Vineyard Church to the Rotary Club, Kiwanis, the Promise Church. Everybody has leaned in. And Carol, earlier today, you had a number off the top of your head of the number of kids total that we were able
300 that Rotary
300.
is doing, and 200 adults
for meals. Yeah,
for meals.
Safeway, major contributor. Walmart has been supportive. It's just really wonderful to see everybody lean in and ensure that every child has a Merry Christmas. So I just wanted to say thank you here at the City Council meeting to everybody that was involved. It wouldn't have happened without everyone.
Silly question for you.
Okay.
is there still opportunity if there's people online in the room or up here that would like to still give? Is there opportunities to?
Yes, so donations are can go through the Rotary Club of Woodland. They fund all of the purchases for the presents for the kids, and so yeah, that would be a way that you could contribute if you're still looking to. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, that's it.
Is bell ringing still going on?
Yes, it will go on through the weekend.
Let me know if you need another
Okay.
2-hour shift taken. Yep. So, with that, thank you. I'm gonna jump out of here a little bit just because Asha was up here. We'll go in here, but why should I? And I didn't know if you're staying for the whole thing. I had the opportunity this last week to go to Renaissance Days over at Norfolk Elementary School. So the 4th graders do dress up their classrooms. They sell things, they make things, and they can bring things. So I reached out as a member of the community and said, hey, Asha, I think it would be great if I could just go in there and visit. I don't have, a child there. So she made arrangements for me to go in there. I met with all the 4th grade teachers, and I walked around, and they gave me some funny money to do. And all the children earned money doing chores and different activities in the classrooms, and they could wander through there. What an experience. I just think, sometimes we get frustrated with things that are going on in public government or in the school districts or the port. I mean, our 3 entities here, we can always find something that's not working well. I just wanted to say, Asha, when you're up here, thank you. That was something that was very neat. Every kid had a big smile. They were happy. They were excited. The teachers were all attentive. It was just really cool. So things are happening good in the schools. Thank you for those. And pass that on to your teachers. Okay?
Just to add to that, I wanted to thank you for going. My daughter attends North Fork and got the opportunity to see you, and all of her classmates were ecstatic that the mayor made it a point to come to the school that day. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. I tried to play incognito, and a couple people recognized me. So, anyway, any other items not on the agenda from people inside the room, community members? Anyone online that would like to speak about items not on the agenda? Okay, with that, we'll move into agenda approval.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
With that,
Sorry. Councilmember Hall,
Aye.
Councilmember Frymark,
Aye.
Councilmember Burke,
Aye.
Councilmember Dowdy,
Aye.
Councilmember Friend,
Aye.
Councilmember Houston,
Aye.
Councilmember Rounds.
Aye.
okay, moving into action item 7, or reports, or agenda item 7, sorry, not action items, reports of standing committees, public safety.
Okay, so we'll start with public safety. We met tonight at 5:25. In attendance, we had Councilmember Rounds, Councilmember Hall, myself, and Chief Gibbs. We first talked about our newest officer, Bryce Livesay, and he started the academy today, so that was great news. It's one more officer that we'll be adding to our wonderful town. We also have a lateral candidate that completed their psych evaluation today and is scheduled to do their physical evaluation December 24th. And hopefully everything goes well, and we hopefully could hire him by the 2nd week of January. So that would give us a good start to the new year, allowing us testing for detective has been started, done, completed.
Yes.
And
decision's not completed with the testing.
right, the testing has been completed. So hopefully by March, after we have some hiring and gone through the whole training, if the lateral one works out, hopefully by March we would have a new detective in place. And then we also have 3 more come January 1 as our detective is put into place from if we choose to do internally. we would have 3 positions as of January 1 to start looking for candidates to fill those, with our 2 new ones that we're adding, and then 1 replacing the officer that would make the detective. So that is good news. And then that would potentially make it so that our SRO officer is up and coming sooner than later, with the way we're filling up. So that is super exciting to see that coming to fruition, and potentially got some interest. So that's nice. Shop with a Cop we already talked about. They had about 140 kids. We had 3 cars that we ordered, and those will be getting our cameras, but not when we do our initial camera installations in mid-February, which has been scheduled. We talked today about how with all of the new officers coming on board and the new cars coming on board, how we had switched over and ordered 9 of those lightweight shields. And we told him that how many would we need so that all the police have them in their cars, and seeing how much we had left in this year's budget, and kind of told him, like, let's go ahead and get what we need to equip every vehicle with one. So we need about 6 more, it looks like. So he already has an email going out trying to get a quote, and as long as we have money still in this year's budget, we're going to try to get those 6 ordered before the end of the year, so that all cars next year will all have one, and we're not having to trade them around. So that will be fantastic as well. And they also, I want to say, great job to Chief Gibbs, that he has really starting instilling the quarterly meetings with the departments. And so this is something that was not as frequent, and so now getting that on a more quarterly basis with his officers. He's already had 2, and so in a short time to have 2 when maybe not had 2 in the last 3 years. So that's pretty huge, and it shows that we're on the right track with our police department and the way things are going. And we adjourned at 5:53. Our next meeting should be on Tuesday, January 21st, at our city council meeting.
Any comments or questions about public safety? I would just like to throw one thing out. I see Asha sitting here still, and you brought up the school resource officer in this discussion. So we don't have a individual that is dedicated 100% to the school resource officer, but one thing I would like to shout out, one to the schools and to the police officers. I wish the police officers were here and the sergeants to hear. They make an effort to hit one of those schools each of the days. So you might see them at the high school one day, you might see them at the middle school. I mean, when those officers, again, they're on, 3 days on, 3 days off, 4 days on, 4 days off. They know during the day, hey, school's getting out, school's starting, let me go hit one of these schools. So our students do, recognize police officers, and so I think it's a great partnership. And so I appreciate everything you're doing there, Chief, and Asha for welcoming us to do that. Okay? Any comments? Next item, human resources.
That's me again. We started at 6 o'clock tonight. We had the mayor and Councilmember Hall, Councilmember Friend, and myself. We talked about how there will be interviews tomorrow for our 4 candidates that are for the code enforcement / permit tech position. So that should hopefully go well and leave us with a great candidate to offer the position to, and get that underway come the first of the year, I hope. That would be fantastic. Negotiations seem to have gone well, but they actually will vote on Thursday, and pending no complications, they'll take effect January 1. So some of the things that the mayor worked really hard on during negotiations was combining our 2 Teamsters unions into one, so that our clerical and our public works is all one unit with the new negotiations, and it will just make everything more efficient and consistent across the board. And then he also went through with all of the 20 positions that we had and really got a job descriptions outlined for every single position, and kind of did away with individual title positions and kind of mainstreamed them to be like clerk positions and things like that, so that there's a little bit more room for growth for some of our employees that were just kind of, this is the position you're in and there's nowhere to go. So I would say kudos to you, because I think that's huge, to kind of give some of our employees that would just kind of sit there an opportunity to do that. Also, the way it is in the current contract, if they agree with it, the first year, on average, employees will get about a 4.5% raise. Some might get 2, some might get 6. It just depends. On average, it's about 4.5. Year 2 and 3 is going to be based on a sliding scale, depending on the market. I don't know the term you use. CPI, and it's a 3 to 3.5% sliding scale for that, for year 2 and 3. And let's see. In order for it to pass, we have to have 50% plus 1 in both unions. So it's kind of a take-all. We can't just have Public Works pass it and not clerical. Both unions have to pass it for this contract to go in effect, because we are combining them under one benefit. But also this time around, the all of the employees will go from paying 4% for their benefits to paying 6%. So we're going to go from 96.4% to a 94.6% in this one. And all the raises and step changes moving forward will all be according to January 1. There will no longer be, oh, you started August 20th, so your step changes August 20th. It will all be according to January 1. If you start September 1st or later in the year, that will be part of the next year's, so you'll have to wait a year and a half before you'll see it. But if you start prior to September 1, that will be your year 1, and then the following January you will see your step. So just, that's where it'll be. Our next meeting will also be Tuesday, January 21st, and that was it for our meeting, and we adjourned at 6:28.
Any questions on that? So,
Yeah, they're scheduled for January 23rd or 1st to 6th. Says next meeting.
No, the meetings for these will be on
okay.
Tuesday, January 21st after Martin, or after
so
Martin Luther
yeah,
King.
so the union contract, that piece there, so the union will vote on Thursday, and then if they ratify it, then it will come here January 6th to our council meeting. We'll have red line for you all to see and approve the actual language. That's the high level of what it is, but again, council has to ratify that contract, but we do that after they ratify it. So kind of a two-step prong, and then if it gets approved by council on January 6th and they approve it this Thursday, it will still be retro to January 1st, because the paycheck is from January 10th through the 15th, and they get paid on the 25th. So things are aligning there and working through. Okay? Questions or comments on that? Hearing none. Finance, Douglas?
Yes, first off, we need to thank the mayor for doing double duty. We all know how busy he is with finance in general. We've been covering that in city councils for the last several meetings. He got done with HR about 6:30. By 6:32, he was calling us together in the finance committee in this room to start another meeting. So we appreciate that, Mr. Mayor. The important news of the week is that we're running parallel with our accounting software, an outfit called Tyler Tech. We're using them to do a multiple of things. It's got a lot of capabilities in the future that we're looking at, but mostly now they're generating our vouchers that our fine council member Rounds is got signatory responsibility for. Thank you, Council Member Rounds. So, and we ended the meeting at about 6:42. Brief tonight. more to come, I'm sure, next year early.
Questions or comments? Hearing none, we will move into reports of city council. Ms. Dowdy.
Yes, last week we had Civic Power Hour with the high school, and they invited the mayor and Mr. Goddard, as well as Ms. Butler, and it was fantastic. Our AP government class hosted the entire event, student-led. We had moderators, we had timers, we had audience moderators. There was questions and answers from the audience, questions and answers from the questions from the students, and our panel did a great job as well. But they publicized, they did it everything from radio, from advertising on social media, to flyers. It was all done by students, and so it was very smooth. It was on housing and zoning and what's it? Code. No, it was zoning, housing, and there was a third topic: traffic. And so some great questions were asked, and I think they took a lot away from it, and they really felt proud and excited, and Ms. Condit shed some tears, and it was great. So they really celebrated their success, and they are looking forward to having at least one, hopefully two more after the new year. So if you have any topics, she's open for it, but also the students are getting a little more input too on their topics this next time around. So it was a fantastic event.
Yeah, I would throw out there a great opportunity. So if there's people in the community, people on council, reach out. Again, it's an opportunity for you to have a dialogue and conversation there. So, yeah. Ms. Brown.
First off, I'd like to thank the mayor for ringing the bell for us for Salvation Army. We are able to send kids that wouldn't normally be able to go to camp. And so we ring the bell for Salvation Army and give them that money, and they let us send kids from Woodland to camp. So I rang the bell this past week. Been busy with shopping for the 300 kids that actually we're doing 300 kids, but we didn't have to shop for that many because a lot of the people in the community stepped forth and picked up tags, but we shopped for the tags that did not get picked up. And so we've been doing that also, and I think that's about it, but it's been busy.
I say thank you for letting me that opportunity. I said I would do it again. There are community members here. I sent little emails out to people and said, let's do grocery shopping tonight. Your friendly representative will be down at Safeway ringing the bell. So, and I even had community members who were upset that I left the bell to go take shopping carts back for people and work the parking lot. So I would recommend to all of you here, if you can do it, it's a great opportunity just to meet individuals in the community and, spread the holiday cheer. Anyone else on council? Mr. Hall.
Yeah. I also rang bells. I have to give a shout out to Safeway because it was a cold and bitter night. And they, the manager, about halfway through the evening, came out with hot water and teas, and he gave us 2 full boxes of teas to pick and let us take them home. So we had hot tea while we were there and went home with a gift. And anyway, it was a lot of fun, and a lot of people did donate. I appreciate that, not only for the kids that go to camp, but for the community.
Right.
Everybody that goes in has a smile on their face then. So that, and then I also wanted to mention, I went to the Woodland Action Council's fundraiser out at the golf course, and that was a great event. I'm told it was their best response ever in terms of the money that they raised. Of course, they're always looking for month-to-month help and even week-to-week help as far as donations and food items and that sort of thing. But anyway, the Action Council had a great event, and it was a lot of fun.
Do we know how much money they raised?
I'm gonna blow this because I'm not in on the inner circle, but I would say it was over 6,000.
Wow.
at that event, so pretty good.
That's great
event,
for the
yeah.
community. Yep, 100%.
And then also today I got to go to the Fellowship of Christian Athletes countywide vision sharing up in Longview, and Woodland has both in our high school and in our middle school Fellowship of Christian Athlete chapters, and they both have about well over 50 kids, I think, in each thing. And I see Asha shaking her head. Yes, those are great events, and I know the kids at the middle school go in for breakfast on their Wednesday morning by the church next door, the Presbyterian church, and then they get all high on sugar and yeah, they do have a good meal, and then they go, of course, back to school. So those are good programs that are going on at both the high school level and the middle school, and that whole program countywide has grown over double since my grandson was involved in it just 5 years ago. So that just shows you the rate of growth. Those are excellent programs. So shout out to those folks.
Excellent.
I believe this Friday is our Woodland Light Parade on the vehicles. So reminder that that's going on. Be safe as they come through. But I think we have some extra help this year.
So, yes, it is. It starts over at the elementary school. We'll wind down through, end up over, I believe it ends at the Promise Church, I believe. They are
It's
collecting
wonderful.
Canned and perishable, non-perishable food items there. Officers will be helping guide through the traffic. So, yes, that is coming up Friday night on the 20th. Any other items from council? I would throw out there, Winterfest was here not last weekend, the weekend before. Great turnout. Kudos to Downtown Woodland Revitalization, the City of Woodland, the port, and the other businesses that helped down there. Great turnout. Santa, Mrs. Claus, the Grinch, tree lighting was there. So, again, thank you for all the city council members and community members that showed up for that. It was a great turnout. Okay. Advisory committees. Keith, Chamber of Commerce. Come on up, sir.
Keith Belial, Interim Executive Director for the Woodland Chamber of Commerce and Visitor Center. So Visitor Center remains open as per usual, closed on Tuesdays for our luncheons. We'll have our luncheon tomorrow. We'll have a holiday luncheon and gift exchange at noon at the Oak Tree. Let's see, the Visitor Center for November had 68 visitors. We continue to sell the passes, and we'll be closed Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. And also wanted to mention that I'm not there every day, but I'm there enough to know, what it's like. And there's a riser right in front of the trailer, a riser station. And previously it was really, really stinky. But the other day, Public Works was out there, and Nick was out there, and I think it was Alex, maybe one of the guys. Anyway, they were out there working on it, and it does not smell anymore.
Really?
Yes.
Kudos. Riley's on vacation
Yeah,
with his family.
I knew he would have something
but
to say about
I see Oliver
that.
that's sitting here, and I don't know if any other.
Is it Oliver that's working with Public Works now?
He is.
Yeah, so he was out there. I saw him. I didn't have time to get my camera out and take a picture, but I noticed Nick was down in the ground with something out of there, and if that's where that smell was coming from before, it's not coming from there anymore.
Perfect.
That's
Thank you.
really, really good. So thank
I mean,
you.
you touch on a good point there. I mean, our Public Works team literally is out there weathering these conditions. We talk about the cold. Again, customer service is huge. That's what we've worked on for the last 11 months, and I see Oliver nodding his head because I drill to them. These are our guardrails. We are here for the public customer service. And so if people like that have issues, have things, 225-7999, there is anyone there, they will answer the phone, help, and we will redirect people there. Great individuals working in public works and serving our community. So I appreciate you recognizing that.
Yeah, sure. Thanks
was
for
awesome.
for taking the stink away.
Okay. All right, any questions or comments for Keith? Moving into reports to city officers. So a couple things here I want to touch on. The first one is kind of a tragic item today. I think people might have saw it on social media. A pedestrian versus a train here on Davidson Street. Very sad any time of the year, very sad here during the holidays. Condolences go out to the family. Condolences go to our first responders, to the conductor, to all of those that had to participate and be part of that. It is under investigation. More will come out. But from my standpoint and what I can say about it and what Chief could say is prayers and our thoughts were with everyone there. And let's just hold each other tight around here and remember during the holidays, things are tough sometimes. And so please, communicate with one another. Okay? That's all I want to say on that one there. The old library, it's something that I've seen out on social media. Whenever I'm at different events, people say the old library, and we talk about the museum, and we talk about various things. And so I kind of want to say this for the people in the back row one more time about the old library here. I think we've talked about it quite a bit here. The old library is not ADA compliant upstairs. There is stairs, but there's not an elevator. It's not compliant for something that the city can run and operate that second story. So for the museum or something, we would have to put an elevator, and that is very substantial amount of money to retrofit for that. If you were to put a museum in there, you would be putting in new filtration, new HVAC, and all of that. Again, very expensive. We're going to rent the old library out just like we do the community center. So community members in our city can rent it for the weekend, do those different things. Upstairs, we are using for storage of our our paperwork, and those, instead of paying to use it at a storage facility or something, one, it's out of the floodplain there up high. It is safe there. So again, you can't use upstairs because it's not ADA, but we can put storage up there, and so that's why we're using it down there. Then the main floor, we are spending $30,000 on it. That's in our 2025 budget to make the bathroom ADA compliant so that we can rent that out. Right now, it's not ADA compliant, so we couldn't do anything with it. It's in the budget. So come 2025, the bathroom will be fixed and we will be renting it out just like we are renting out the community center. The community center, again, has the bad floor, little uneven, the flooring, and that $100,000 is in the budget to level it and make it more usable. There is a appetite from our community to use those and rent those, and that's what we're going to do with them. They're there. Any questions from council or the community on those items? Just because I know that's a big question that people seem to ask. Okay, upcoming events. City offices are closed Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Those are paid holidays for our employees, part of their union contracts. January 1st is also closed, and then we will have our city council meeting on the 6th and on the 21st of January. With that, we will move into consent items.
Motion to approve the minutes of December 2nd, 2024.
Second.
Councilmember Burke,
Aye.
Councilmember Hall,
Aye.
Councilmember Friend,
Aye.
Councilmember Houston,
Aye.
Councilmember Rounds,
Aye.
Councilmember Frymark,
Aye.
Councilmember Dowdy.
Aye.
Okay, moving into action items. Action item C, approve the vouchers, the December 1st half 2024.
Make a motion to approve the action item C vouchers.
Second.
Councilmember Dowdy,
Aye.
Councilmember Friend,
Aye.
Councilmember Hall,
Aye.
Councilmember Houston,
Aye.
Councilmember Rounds,
Aye.
Councilmember Frymark,
Aye.
Councilmember Burke.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Moving into action item D, ordinance number 1568, increased petty cash fund. First and final reading.
Motion to approve.
Questions or comments from the community? And then I will take your motions. Questions, comments? Anyone? Let me give you a little bit of clarity on here. So vehicle licensing, if we license the vehicles here in Woodland, it's cash only. $140 to $170, $75 in petty cash really makes it tough, and we're scrambling, how do we go license a vehicle? So I wanted the community not to think that we were willy-nilly just spending cash. This was, hey, let's be creative, let's be efficient. What is a legitimate amount? All of our vehicles can be licensed under $200, and we can continue to use a local business. So with that, I believe I had a motion.
Motion
A
to
second.
approve.
And a second. Comments, questions from council?
Why not?
Councilmember Friend,
Aye.
Councilmember Rounds,
Aye.
Councilmember Houston,
Aye.
Councilmember Burke,
Aye.
Councilmember Frymark,
Aye.
Councilmember Dowdy,
Aye.
Councilmember Hall.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Moving into action item E, select Gibbs and Olson for South Pekin Pedestrian and Bicycle Facility Project Consulting Engineering Services. Questions or comments from the community on this? This one here, this is using them as our PE, so they will do this, the engineering, and then from here we will be able to turn this into the full-fledged project. We will work with WashDOT and we'll bring a contract back, and that agreement for council to agree, to approve. This basically is allowing us to say, yes, we're gonna use Gibbs and Olson, who is our engineer, to do that engineering work.
Motion to approve.
I heard a motion from Ms. Dowdy and a second from Mr. Burke.
Councilmember Frymark,
Aye.
Councilmember Friend,
Aye.
Councilmember Burke,
Aye.
Councilmember Rounds,
Aye.
Councilmember Houston,
Aye.
Councilmember Dowdy,
Aye.
Councilmember Hall.
Aye.
And the ayes have it, and the time is now 7:47.
Make a
Mo-
motion to end the meeting.
Second.
Thought it was never
Merry
gonna end.
Christmas, everyone,
Yes,
and have
Merry
a
Christmas.
safe New Year, and happy holiday.